Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Anderson. I am the chairman of the Lincoln Economic Development Board. We're pleased to have you here, and I think you're going to be extremely pleased to hear what you hear. I have the privilege of introducing someone who really requires no introduction. Bill Perdue's election in North Carolina as the first woman governor is the culmination of a lifetime of public service. For more than a decade as lieutenant governor and a state legislator, Governor Perdue has fought to create jobs and sharpen North Carolina's competitive edge in the global economy. She has worked diligently for schools and the funding of schools. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor of the State of North Carolina, Governor Bill Perdue.
Alex, for your participation. I'm delighted to be here. This is a big day. I'm always proud to be in the room with Jonathan Ryan. Thank you for your leadership. Representative Ryan is doing a marvelous job on some important pieces of legislation. I say marvelous because he's listening to all my complaints. I appreciate that a whole lot, Jonathan. Thank you very much. And for all the electeds who are here, thank you for your service and for what you do. This is a big day in North Carolina. It's a big day for us here in this county and in Lincolnton. Let me tell you what it's about. Tom Anderson and Greg Weldon, the president of APTAR, Steve Hagee, we're delighted that you're here. I'm going to call you out in just a few minutes. We are just delighted that North Carolina is doing something that no other state in America is doing. You know how competitive these times are for jobs, and since I've been governor during the 2.5 years, becoming governor during the most economically challenging times since the Great Depression. You felt it in your communities. We felt it across this state. During my tenure, unemployment was 11.2. It's down to 9.6 now. I just asked Tom, and he said it was still about 11.2 here. So this announcement today is critically important to all of you. But as we've tried to figure out a way to grow jobs and to make North Carolina more competitive, we put together a system that is second to none in America. We start with you here at the local level with your economic development team, your county commissioners, your economic development commission, and we move out to the community college and then to the regional partnership, and then we bring in the state. And we put together a package to use to recruit a company like the company that we're going to talk about today. North Carolina has been tremendously successful during the last 2.5 years, and though the unemployment rate is way too high, I understand that and you understand that, we are having tremendous wins. And on any metric that you judge a state by, North Carolina is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Again, the best place to do business, the best place to start a business, the best place to raise a family, the best company in the country is here this year. And so the magic that comes from teamwork and for not really caring who gets the credit, whether it's the local electeds or the economic development, we just don't care. We want the jobs in North Carolina and we want the jobs in Lincolnton. And so that has worked for us, and it's allowed us to be one of 6 AAA bond-rated states in the country, and we are focused on the prize. And today it's my great privilege to be here with Steve and with your company, APTAR, and to announce to you that this company has pledged that they are bringing 150 jobs to this community over a 5-year period, making a $58 million in investments right here in Lincolnton. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, we all had a part to play in that, and for those of you who hate the word incentive, and I hate the word incentive as much as you do, let me be just very direct, and I know that Representative Ryan and other members of the General Assembly understand this concept. There are 49 other governors in America, and all 49 governors would have loved to have APTAR in their communities. As long as 49 other states have the capacity and the toolbox that causes incentives to be the way of life of economic development, then you all, North Carolina and this community, Lincoln and Lincoln County, have got to play in that sandbox, whether we like it or not. And that process was part of the reason that today we can talk about these jobs coming here. They've chosen North Carolina, they've chosen Lincolnton, when they could have gone any place else in the country. This is their first North Carolina footprint, and we should be mighty proud of that because we believe once they get here and see the quality of our workforce and the livability of this community, as they make expansion decisions in the next few years, they will choose to continue their investment in Lincolnton. Now, the jobs that we're talking about, these 150 jobs, pay more than your county average. They pay about $36,000 a year. So when Jonathan gets tired of being a lawyer, you can come and apply for this kind of job. And, I didn't know the company very well, so I went to the web yesterday and I said, Aptar, tell me what it's all about. Now, I know you all know because you've been part of this process, but I even quizzed Greg and Steve a few minutes ago about what the product was going to be. It's stuff that you really wouldn't think about that's going to be made right here in Lincolnton. Stuff like a nozzle on a hairspray bottle or the pump on a hand soap, from beverages to beauty products. I asked specifically, think about the Heinz ketchup bottle and the fact if you're like me, you buy the big bottles and put them in your refrigerator. Now you can turn them upside down and you never have to shake the bottle again to make the ketchup come out. Aptar, they did it. Probably their innovation and their patent has allowed it to happen. And we're mighty glad as consumers of that product. And we kind of think it's cool that those kind of things are going to be made here in North Carolina now. And this is a big announcement. It comes, you all, as we are moving out of the recession in our state. Our economy is gaining strength. I'm blessed to be able to look at the revenue statements at the end of every month and at the end of every quarter and most times at the end of every day. And I can tell you across the state, things are looking much, much better. And these kind of investments that this company has chosen to make in North Carolina are decided because of the quality of the workforce. Part of the incentive package that we're so proud of that has allowed Aptar to choose North Carolina is about the training of the workforce. They will tell you that they have a deal or are in the process of making a commitment with Gaston Community College, who serves you right here in this community, about job-specific training skills that their workers are going to need to make a product that helps build the bottom line for this company. And that's what it's all about, the bottom line for Aptar. And that concept of an educated workforce is critically important for us in North Carolina and across America. I recruit a lot of companies to this state these days, and sometime during the discussions in the final 3 or 4 weeks of the company making the decision, when you're recruited heavily by other states, sometime during that conversation, after we've gotten beyond incentives, and after we've gotten beyond even the quality of life, the CEO, like Steve, will look me in the face and say, Governor, we really want to come to North Carolina, but can you promise me, and the word promise is often used, that we will have the quality of the workforce that we need to make good products, not just now, today, because they can see today's worker. They ask the generational question for the next year, the next decade, the next 20 years. Can you promise me that this community college is going to be here and that this public school system is going to be able to produce graduates that can then be trained to work in this enterprise?